Hello. Thank you for your patience. All right. How is our sound, my beloveds? Something funny. Oh, great. Thanks, Melissa. Something's funny is happening with some software, and I can't use my regular mic, it is what it is. And I'm just having to work around it. Hi, Lindsay. Okay. Now I'm just going to double check. Hi, Rekka. Um, Make sure our connection is good and strong. That should be good now. Okay, great. Hello. Great to be together. Um, why don't you go hi, Camille. Go ahead and share in the chat. I invite you to share in the chat something that you are grateful for about yourself. Something you're grateful for about yourself. I'll get us started. I'm grateful for my big heart. What are you grateful for about yourself? Hi, Steph. How's that ankle? Foot. Foot. It was my ankle, your foot, or both of our ankles? Ah. Shannon shares for being resilient. What are you grateful for about yourself? Melissa shares, I'm grateful for my resilience and perseverance. Rekha shares, I'm grateful for being patient. Lindsay, my compassion. Mary, kindness. Keep them coming, my loves. Yeah, I thought it was your ankle too. Great to see you, love. I hope you're healed up well. What else, my loves? Steph shares, I'm grateful for my healing and asymmetry. Camille, I'm grateful for willingness to keep going, focused, and happiness. Great, everyone. Hi, Laura. All right, great. Well, if you haven't shared, you can still share, even though we're going to start to move on. Lindsay shares, I'm grateful for my courage and willingness to move forward. Yes, yes, yes. Bing, for compassion and willingness to trust. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a big one. They're all great. They're all good ones. Melissa, I'm grateful to have abundance of my beautiful surroundings. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Hi, Lori. Hi, Angela. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hi, Betty. Great to see you. All right, my loves. Well, for anyone that I'm getting to meet today for the first time, my name is Selena. These satsangs for the soul are time for us to come together to be together as community, to listen, to learn, to listen, to learn, meaning to really have some time for ourselves with ourselves in community. This is a space of compassion and curiosity where we welcome all parts of ourselves, not just the parts that we consider love and light or good, but every part. The darkest part, the most shameful part, the most scary part. Every part of us is welcome here. Every part. Holistic, whole, WHOLE, the wholeness of our experience. For when we reject certain parts of our inner world or our experience, we're rejecting part of ourself. And we will always feel that discord or that experience of something's missing or feeling at war with ourselves. In my humble opinion, it is a true path to freedom when we learn to fully accept what is. And it starts here. So I welcome you, and I welcome you just as you are in this moment today in the wholeness of your experience. Hi, Angie. I welcome you from my heart. I have a lot of content here. If this is our first time together, countless meditations and talks, experiences. I also have two courses. One is called Yogic Practices for a Peaceful Life, and the other is called Awaken My Heart, a guide to living with self love. And then we have these live sessions. You can find my schedule on my profile page. We have some exciting things. Oh, no, got a little fuzz. I have some exciting things and collaborations coming with the app. So those will start to come online soon. Look forward to sharing more about that with you all. And of course, Insight Timer and I both have active Instagram pages. Sometimes we do things together, and I regularly post little love notes there and reminders. So if you'd like to stay tuned in there. And of course, you can find on my profile page, there is a Linktree link, and that will take you to how we can stay more connected if you wish. Oh, lovely. Melissa shares, I think I've been grateful to have seen you with your lovely father. Yes. Yes, both of my amazing parents are here on the app. Jonas Magrum and Sandra Magrum, they both lead live sessions, and they both are such gifts to my life and to the lives of so many. So I wholeheartedly welcome you to check out their lives. They have a little bit of content on their profiles, but the lives are really where they offer. Yes, Melissa, they are wonderful, and I am so blessed. So blessed. Yeah, great, great, great. Yeah, they host regular sessions each week. Thanks, Lindsay. Lindsay says, I hope your mom is doing well. Yeah, we had a whole ordeal last month where my mama tripped in the dark and broke her hip, and it was a whole thing, and she is healing. So thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, we are all so fortunate. So welcome, welcome just as you are to this moment, this moment. How amazing to consider that when the mind is truly present in the moment, there's nothing wrong, there's nothing missing. Now, of course, we could say it's relative. And I just invite you to play with that for a moment in your own awareness without comparing it to maybe someone else's life. Just consider right now where you are with all of the things you might be feeling and all of the challenges you might be facing. If you were able to fully stop, to be still in such a profound way that the mind was no longer running to the future with thoughts of concern, fear, worry, or excitement. We're living in the past. When there's no past and there's no future, and there's truly only the now, it is like an endless space, infinity, where all falls away. And what is left? The self, presence, presence. What would it be like to rest in presence in every moment of your life? No more striving, No more bringing the past into your present. No more concerns about what people think of you or how you look or how you behave or what you're supposed to be doing. All of it falls away. And here you are, right where you have always been, a magnificent being having this experience. It's almost like we're all watching movies, really intense movies sometimes. Sometimes they're dramas, and sometimes they're tragedies, and sometimes they're comedies, and sometimes they're romance, sometimes they're horror. We're all watching these movies individually, and we've forgotten that we're watching a movie. Imagine, it's kind of what we do sometimes. Like if you look at what happens in our brains and our minds when we go to watch a movie, you know how sometimes you'll watch a movie and you'll cry, or something startling happens and you jump in your seat, or something happens between characters where they're laughing and you start laughing. Our brains are identifying with the character on the screen. The difference about our lives, though, is that when the movie is over, we come back to thinking, oh, well, I'm Selena. I identify with Selena. But what if we are all watching these movies and we've forgotten that we're watching a movie? And the day that you remember you're watching a movie, for some of us, it will happen while we're still on this planet. For many of us, it will happen when we drop the body. And all of a sudden, oh, I was in a movie. I can't believe I forgot I was in a movie. How did I forget I was watching a movie? That's how powerful you are. They can become completely immersed in the experience, and that you can also wake up from the experience and remember that you're not the movie or the character on the screen. The character on the screen. You are the life force that is everything. How does that feel? How does it feel? Yeah. Camellia shares freedom. Lindsay shares that feels soothing. You know, this life experience, in some ways, we can think about it as a choose your own adventure journey. And some of the adventures are atrocious, and some of the adventures are whatever they are. We can use all of our descriptive words. So it's definitely a place of profound learning. I'd love to play with this for a moment. Hi, John. Yeah, Melissa shares so very comforting, like you're home. No mind, no thought. I don't know what I was going to say. I forgot. I didn't forget, it just left my consciousness. I won't grasp for it. I don't think I'll find it. Or I might. You know how that works. I always circle around. So, Shall we take a moment to sit together and just practice being with what is? I think for a moment before we go there, I just want to share something. Um, our minds, we could say, are what is through one perspective. The mind is what is projecting the movie onto the movie screen. So the thoughts that we're having, what we're putting our attention on, this is determining the movie for many of us, at least how we see the movie. And it's really easy to get caught in habitual thoughts that keep us watching the same movie. Throughout our lifetimes, we watch many different movies that we identify with. And if you're just coming in now, we're using movie as this metaphor of our life experience and forgetting that we are a spiritual being having a human experience. We become the identity, the personality. I think I'm Selena. I identify with the body, with the emotions, with the mind, thinking that it's who I am, forgetting that I am an infinite being. So, what often happens is we watch these same movies over and over again and relate to our life experience as if that's true. So, for example, um, let's say that all day long, consciously, meaning I'm aware of it, and also unconsciously, meaning it's just kind of running subconsciously, I have a thought that says, I don't feel good. And it's like a repeating thought, and it just goes over and over and over again. And because that thought is repeating, the moment that I laughed, the moments that I laugh throughout the day, my brain will overlook those. My mind will overlook those. I won't even remember them. The moments where something beautiful, an amazing opportunity or a beautiful moment with someone comes into my sphere of experience, I might completely miss it because I'm living through this track, through this movie that says, I don't feel good. Yet all of these things are happening all around me in every moment that make me feel really good. I'm just missing out because of this loop in my mind. And many of us live with these different loops that keep us stuck. For example, let's see if I can consolidate this whole experience to bring it into something concise. Um, I Many of you know that I've had a really challenging summer on a lot of levels for the last 2, 3 months. A lot of grief and a lot of heart cracking open and pain and just different layers of things coming up and just so much grieving happening. And there's the tendency for the mind to continue. It's like the neural pathways. We know that the more we think a thought, especially repetitively, the more it's going to create a neural pathway, that connection in the brain. And the more we repeat that thought, the stronger that neural pathway becomes. So, although my life is so blessed, on one hand, there probably is still some healing and releasing happening. And on another hand, this repetition of feeling sad and feeling like something's missing and feeling grief, it's so strong in my physiology right now and in my brain that my mind will take me there even when everything's great, everything's beautiful. So, for us to also be aware that sometimes we're feeding an old story of an experience or something that was, but it's not even the case anymore. We're just keeping it alive by way of our habitual thoughts. And then, therefore, the habitual emotions that come with it and the habitual physical behaviors, right? Like, what's the body position of someone who feels sad? What does their face look like? What is their energy level like? We have all of these habitual behaviors in our bodies, the thoughts we think, and our emotions. And if we are living unconsciously, we can just live out these patterns day in, day out, not questioning them, not being curious, not recognizing that we might be recreating this for ourselves every day when in all actuality a new experience is available to us in every single moment. And all of this ties back into presence. If I'm truly present, then all of those stories, all of what I've been holding on to, all of it just falls away. And there's this infinite nature where there's everything and nothing. I know it's just a lot of words, but it's difficult to to explain the eternal. Yet so much of my life, I live in this experience of the stories I'm telling myself. And the stories I'm telling myself can either make me feel uplifted and grateful and expanded, or the stories that I tell myself can make me feel sad and afraid and angry and vengeful, whatever it is, right? So we can ask ourselves, what are the stories I'm telling myself? What stories am I telling myself day in, day out? What stories am I repeating throughout my day? Remember, your life is a movie. You're the best storyteller there is. So, what stories are you telling yourself? Because I promise you, my beloveds, the stories you tell yourself are dictating your life experience. The stories you're telling yourself are dictating your life experience. And it's not like some cut and dry black and white thing, or it's not to say that it's good and bad, like, oh, stories are bad. Be present. Like, let's just drop all the judgment and practice the game of awareness. If I'm the most powerful creator there is, and we're one, so that means each of us, if I'm the most powerful creator in this creation, what do I want to use my energy for? How do I want to create? That's how we can think of this. It's not like you should judge yourself or blame yourself or beat yourself up for telling yourself painful stories. It's like waking up from a dream. Has anyone seen that fantastic meme? Oh my gosh, I bet I have a picture of it. Let me see if I can find it. I'm sure I've shared it here before also. It's this great oh please tell me I saved it in my favorites. It's this great meme and it's so adorable. And it's a picture of a little kid. There's two pictures. It's a picture of a little kid with a boot on the side of their head. And all you can see is that their head is on the ground and there's a boot on their head. And the first picture says something like before spiritual awakening. You see this look on this kid's face and the boots on their head. And then the second picture says after spiritual awakening. And the camera backs up so you can see the whole picture and the child's hand is in the boot on their head, right? So what stories are we telling ourselves? I'm gonna see if I can find this. Um, Come on, I can do it. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. Okay. I'm not sure where I would have this if I have it saved. Actually, I can probably even find it faster on the old interwebs. Um, okay, well, I'm not seeing it here. But has anyone ever seen that one? It's such a cute thing. It makes me giggle every time. All right, hold on. I have to share it with you now. I want to. So, let's see here. Spiritual awakening boot on head. Let's see if that brings it up. Yeah. Look at that. Brilliant. Okay. Now I just have to pull up the picture without all the text everywhere. Okay, sorry. There's still a whole lot happening on this page, but I just love this so much. Oh, there we go. Can you see that? Before spiritual awakening, after spiritual awakening. Look at the joy. Look at the joy in the face. Yeah. Oh, I have the boot on my own head. What stories have I been telling myself? Yeah? What stories have you been telling yourself? All right. I'm going to come back to your comments. Um, Angela shares, I've been in that loop. I'm beginning to see the glimmers. Oh, great. Beautiful. John shares, in the year since my wife's death, I have changed and grown more than in my entire 7 decades. Yes, my love. I really feel that. You've been sharing that, and I really hear it every time you share. And I just hear your beautiful heart and the grace in you and the kindness in you. And you're always so generous with us here. So powerful. Thank you for letting us be with you in such a transformational journey, such a tender journey. I love you. Laura shares, sometimes, my love, I always forget, is it Laura or Laura? Sometimes there are not even our stories or thoughts, right? You're saying, if I'm reading this correctly, um, I'm guessing that's supposed to mean Laura, maybe. um, right. If we look at it through the lens of collective consciousness and the quantum world, we the Italian way. So that would be Laura, right? That's how I that's how I know. Okay, great. Thank you, thank you. That's what I was thinking. Great. Okay, coming back. So, right, if we look at it just the field of consciousness, sometimes it's their thoughts that are passing through our collective consciousness. Yes. But we take them on, or energies that we've taken on, or so many of the thoughts that we have are thoughts that we've taken on from others. We learned certain ways of thinking from our environment, and that's all of us. Yes. Ravinder says, my favorite saying, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. However, it's not easy to switch off the constant loop. Yes, I love that quote too. I always think of Kung Fu Panda, although I imagine it's a very old quote. Yeah. Oh, great. Great. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Okay, well, seems like our practice today is that reflection of the self. And remember a powerful technique that you've probably heard my dad Jonas mention, maybe my mom. She's more talking about all of her magical things because she's so magical. But it's this practice of feeling the feelings and dropping the story, feeling the feelings, dropping the story, meaning our minds can really get us caught in the game of analyzing. We can really get lost in that and just loop out, get stuck. Yeah. So that's also why mindfulness is one of the reasons mindfulness is so powerful because mindfulness brings us into an experience of the senses as opposed to being in the analytical mind, the intellect. So, by way of feeling the senses in the physical body, it starts to bring our awareness into the present. And when we practice really feeling the feelings and letting go of the story, we'll find we can actually be with emotions in a whole new way. Where rather than feeling the suffering that gets created by resisting emotion, we sit with the emotions so fully in the feeling in our bodies without retelling the story that it allows that emotion to pass through us rather than reigniting it or resisting it over and over again through our thoughts. Um, let's see. John shares from others or from mothers or both. Um, I think you're talking about how we can take on thoughts, my love. Is that what you're referencing? Please feel free to clarify, and then I'm happy to respond. Thank you. Camille shared, I changed the stories about different family members. Now our relationship has turned around to positive. Me and Auntie are BFF these days. That's awesome, my love. I love that so much, and it's just so beautiful. You're definitely such an inspiration for me. Camille, my friends, is like, I mean, I know many of us do it. I work with, get to see Camille regularly. So, um, I'm in the journey with her. But my love, I just see you, you like take a teaching and you try it on. And if it resonates, you embody it. And you take a teaching and you try it on and you just boom, 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 boom. Like it's like Simon said, Camille and I had the total blessed opportunity to be together in person. We met online and she came to a Saima event last December. Gosh, it feels like a lifetime ago now. We got to be with each other in person. It was amazing. And I just remember, like, just honoring you and your dedication. So, thanks for being such an inspiration, for your willingness to just go for it and grow and expand and lean into discomfort and remember who you are. You know, it's ultimately like the most ultimate expression of self-love, remembering the divinity who you are and finding yourself, remembering. It's beautiful. I had a feeling, John. John says, just making one of smart remarks after you obviously meant from others. Did I say mothers also or mothers? I probably said a lot of things. I had a feeling you might have been cracking a joke there. Oh, I don't usually do this, and I would really love for anyone who's here for the first time, or maybe you come regularly, but you don't ever say anything. I would love so much to hear from you. Anything. Maybe you just wish to drop a couple words in the chat about how you are today or something you're grateful for. Or maybe you're feeling challenged right now and you'd like some support from me, from our community here. I would love so much to hear from you. And I do see some new faces today. I'm so happy to see you. So happy to be together. This is my family, you know. I'm so grateful for the family that we are. I really look forward to our opportunities to be together in person. They're coming. They're coming soon. How exquisite, you know. So many of us have been served so deeply by what Insight Timer has given us, being able to be together in person. I mean, excuse me, by being able to be together online. Many of you found Insight Timer during the pandemic, and you know, we've just been able to be together regularly from all around the world. And how amazing that it's moving into opportunities to be together in person. Think about it. For those of you who come to these sessions regularly, think about how good it feels to be together here, how good it feels to be with ourselves the way that we are in these sessions. And then imagine how that amplifies being together in person. All right, great. Some comments are coming in. And what was I going to say? I'm not sure. So I'm going to come back. Oh, I almost remembered. I almost remembered. It was a, no, I forgot it again. Okay. All right. Who dropped something? Joe. Hi, Joe. Joe says, hi, my second time here, enjoying your positive lives. Awesome. Thank you for saying hi. Makes me so happy to hear from you. Yes, me too. Angela shares, I'm always grateful for this time together. Ravinder shares, it's my first time here today and finding this really inspiring. Thank you all. Awesome love. So grateful you're here. And thanks again for sharing that quote. No, John. We we love we love them. The humor is great. I'm sure you and my dad get along well. Dantea, is that how I pronounce your beautiful name? I came across you, Selena, here on Insight Timer, and your voice has been so soothing through the very difficult year that I've had. Thank you so much for literally sharing your voice with so many of us. Oh, I just feel you in my heart, love, and so much tenderness for whatever you've been going through. And I'm so grateful to have a moment with you and that my voice has in any way supported you during this time. I'm so grateful and I hope you'll come back and be with us here regularly. I'm so grateful to be connected. Alejandra shares my first time here as well. Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome, welcome. Ooh, Camille. Camille shares my auntie actually told me she'll be a silent partner in ventures. Oh my goodness, we have so much to talk about. I just got really excited. Um, Betty, hi Betty. Betty says, "Thank you, Selena, for your sessions and meditations on IT. It has blessed my life tremendously. I am so happy to hear from you. I always see your beautiful face, so it's great to get to connect with you for a moment. I'm so glad they've served love. So glad." Raluca, beautiful name. Forgive me if I butchered it. Wonderful to be here for my first time, and this resonates with me. Wish I was able to make it from the beginning. Oh, wonderful to have you here. And you can always send me a message, and sometimes there are ways for me to share the whole video. So wonderful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we have these sessions regularly. Um, now that I'm back home, uh, I think for a while now, we'll continue to have them at our regular time, which is Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, coming back. Hi, Anna, the I Smile fam. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Liza shares, I resonate today with Camille. It's such a blessing to change the stories about family members, even if they aren't here now. Yes, love. Exactly. Even if they're no longer in body, because our relationship to them and the stories we tell, they're in here, right? They're in us. So to transform the stories for those who have even transitioned, what a healing we create for ourselves. And really, even what a healing we create energetically between us and their soul, even if they're no longer here. That's beautiful. Yes, John, I'm sure you and my pops are kindred spirits. Shannon shares, your soothing voice is how I found you on Wellness Coach. Yes, yes, yes. So great to see you, my love. I never know if it's you, and it's so nice when I realize it is you and to get to spend extra time together. I love you. I love you all. And you know that. And for anyone who doesn't know that yet, start to feel it. You'll feel my love penetrating. I have to tell a little side story. So I know, if you've only listened to my meditations, you probably have a vision of me being a saintly creature who's always calm and relaxed. And if you've been to the lives, you've seen how goofy I am and how silly I can be and how emotional and how much of a very human experience I'm having, just like the rest of us. And anyway, my whole life, I've been a very lovey dovey, affectionate type of person. Big hugger, things like that. And I have a really dear friend who I've known close to 20 years now. We both study with our beloved teacher, Saima. Here's a little picture I have of Saima today. You like to see this picture? My beloved. It was my 23-year anniversary this month. How exquisite is that? Oh, that makes my heart feel so full and tender. Saima is the most profound blessing in my life, other than my parents who brought me into this world and are my first gurus. Saima is If I was uncensored, I would say Saima is my everything. And we're all one. Saima is me. I am Saima. You are me. I am you. We're all one. One exquisite presence. So anyway, back to my funny story. May not be funny for you. I'm finding it funny. So I have a friend and he's definitely more on the reserve side. He's not like a big touchy-feely type person necessarily. More intellectual rather than like really physical. And every time I see him, I'd be like, "Hey," and I'd wanna go give him a hug, and somehow over the years, I developed this kind of thing where I'd be like, "Hey, can we have a hug?" And he would be like, "Oh, that's so creepy, that's so cringy, like, please." So now we have this joke sometimes. I stopped doing that years ago, but sometimes just, like, out of the blue, when I see him occasionally at an event in person, I'll be like, "Want a hug?" And he's like, "Oh, please, please don't do that." I have no idea where that story came from. Maybe I'll find it when I come back to our comments. So, anyway, why did I bring that up? I'm not sure. I don't even see any comments that are reminding me of it, but hopefully you got a little smile out of that. Okay. Great. Yes, Lindsay, I am located in Hawaii. Yes, my dad is funny. I think so too. And for anyone who missed earlier, both of my incredible parents are here on the app. They lead live sessions. They're both such bright lights. My dad's name is Jonas Magrum, and my mom's name is Sandy Magrum. Ah, so let's come back to your comments. Mm. That's precious, John. John shares, sadly, I'm closer to my dear mother than when she was alive. How precious is that? How precious is it that while you're still in a body, you've been able to have greater healing and connection? That's so precious. Yes, Camille. Camille wrote Om JJ Saima. And this is something we say in our community with Saima. Saima is divine mother, right? If we look at what these words mean, we're speaking about the divine mother, the embodiment of the divine mother, which spans across all cultures, all religions, all traditions. It is that essence of the divine feminine. And each of us carry all of these energies, masculine, feminine, this divinity. It is who we are. And in the community, we say, Om JJ Saima. And this essentially translates to I honor the divine feminine in you. I honor the divine feminine in me. So that's what Camille wrote. So I can share with Camille Om JJ Saima and share with everyone Om JJ Saima. And also honoring that there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad in that the masculine and the feminine, if we were to look at these as energies, they're both equally as I don't even want to use those words. It's I think what I would like to say is I honor those qualities in each of us. And the reason we're in this time on the planet where we see such an emphasis on the divine feminine, the divine mother, is because there's been an imbalance. There has not been balance. There's been too much of out of alignment energies. And so, as we welcome more of the feminine energy, and then we're not talking about gender roles here or sexes, gender, nothing like this. We're talking about qualities of energy. We are welcoming that that healing, that grace of love. And the masculine holds that also. We're welcoming that mother, that love of the mother that our planet so desperately needs, that so many of us long for deeply, even if we've had a loving mother. I have the most loving mother on the planet. And when I met Saima as an embodiment of the Divine Mother, my heart cracked open in ways I didn't even know was possible. To be in that transmission, to be in that presence of a being whose heart is so expanded, it literally moves into my space and melts the walls around my heart. We're in this time of grand awakening on the planet, and each of us are beings of light. And if you don't agree with what I'm saying or you don't believe anything, it's okay. I invite you to be here anyway. I'm definitely not here to say that there's one way to view the world or this incredible creation. I think there are many, many, many. You are light. We are one. And we are in a time of grand awakening on the planet. Elisa shares, Hi, Selena. First time with you here. Your meditation, Everything Will Be Okay, has been helping me believe in the power of self healing, especially the I love you part of the meditation. Thank you for sharing your beauty. Thank you, my love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being courageous and sharing that with us. And thank you for thank you for acknowledging the truth of what so many of us feel. To just have someone say, I love you can completely change what's happening inside our trajectory. I'm so glad you found that recording. Many people don't know this. So, first of all, we're referencing a track that I have here on the Inside Timer app. It's called Everything Will Be Okay. And it's more of a talk than a meditation. There isn't a lot of guidance. It's more of this reflective talk. And many don't know, just because it hasn't come up in years, that I created that track for myself when I was in an excruciatingly painful time. I experienced it was like I just received this message that said, pull out your microphone, turn your computer on. We have something to say through you. And I was in so much pain. It was such a difficult period. And so I turned the computer on, plugged my mic in, and I just let these words come through. How beautiful that we get served by our guides through our own consciousness. So, for anyone who's benefited from that track, which is a very popular track here on the app, one, I invite you to consider that it comes from the most tender place inside of me. And two, it's not even me, it's this beautiful higher consciousness. And when I say not even me, not the personality, not Selena trying to create something, but a message for each of us, for our hearts when they're aching, for our minds when we feel like we don't know what to do or we just don't have it in us to take one more step. As a reminder from our own beloved cosmic self that we are loved and we just need to keep taking one step after another. So, Elisa, I'm so happy you're here. And I thank you for sharing. Ah, all right, my loves. Oh, let's see. Oh, Angela shares, yes, that's a powerful meditation. Brings tears every time I listen to it. That's beautiful, my love. By the way, I've been missing you. I'm really happy to see you here today. Reka shares, I'm so happy you brought this up. A few days ago, I just recognized while meditating that my feminine side is so afraid of being left alone, but my masculine side is always scared of being connected to others too much. And I was like, wow, it comes from the same place. I had to acknowledge I have trust issues. Since that day, I try to feed my soul with trust. If you would have any suggestions, I'd be really happy to hear about it. Oh, that's so beautiful, love. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you to everyone who shares here so vulnerably. Isn't that part of the beauty of our community here is we really put ourselves out there and I'm so grateful to you because I think that's what makes our time together so rich is our collective vulnerability and acknowledging like, okay, we're in this and we are in this together. Let's see here. So what is it that you're asking? Maybe, my love, can you create like a concise question about what is it that you're asking for? About trust, about integration of your parts of yourself. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is what it sounds like you're already doing, which is just being more compassionate with these parts of you. No need to fix them or change them or make them different. Just be compassionate. Oh, okay. There's part of me that feels afraid of trusting. Oh, I can hold that with so much compassion and be kind with myself. And you're asking, how can we grow and trust inside? Well, this is a longer topic. I would like to answer just with a couple bullet points, though. One of the greatest ways, and maybe the greatest in my personal experience, of building trust with oneself is to practice honoring ourselves again and again and again. Part of it is very straightforward, and part of it is cultivating an inner listening and intuition, listening to our intuition. So, what do I mean by that? I mean, you're about to put something in your mouth, something that isn't good for you to eat. And you know you're going, you just know, like you not because it's like a judgment, but you can feel that this is not something good for me to eat. Now, many of us, we eat it anyways. So one way to develop trust is when you know something like that, you honor yourself. I want to eat this out of some emotional tendency or whatever it might be, but my body's telling me not to, so I'm going to put it down. Or maybe you have a relationship in your life where you tend to go to this person for something, whatever. It could be romantic, familial, friendship, and there's part of you that goes to this person to be fed in some way. But you know that this person is somehow not aligned for you. Maybe you don't feel respected. Maybe they don't honor you. Maybe they're big takers and you're not holding a boundary. So you just feel drained when you spend time with them, but you keep doing it anyway. Choose not to spend time with that person or hold your boundaries. Remember, you're the one who creates the boundary. It's your responsibility to uphold it, right? It's not other people's responsibility to know all of our boundaries by heart. It's our responsibility to say, this is my boundary. This is what serves me. And it's not like this is my boundary. I mean, it could be like that, but it's this opportunity to say, this is what's aligned for me. This is what's not. And I love myself so freaking much that I'm going to honor myself and not do this thing or do this thing that is good for me. So, in short, one of the greatest ways to develop self trust is to listen to all of the little tiny voices and the loud voices that say, this is what I need. This is not good for me. This is good for me. And honor that. Start to honor it, even in the most subtle ways, because there are so many things that we do regularly that betray ourselves. So, how can you not betray yourself? It could be something as small as not watching that last Netflix episode or not eating that last piece of cookie or cake or something, or not smoking that cigarette or not having that drink. It could be things like that. It could be bigger life shifts. How can you, and it's not about what other people think is good or bad. Let's be clear here. It's not about other people judging you about what you should do. It's about your inner knowingness and you honoring that. I hope that helps, my love. It's a journey, by the way. It's not like something that's just gonna poof all of a sudden change overnight. Yes? Thank you for asking that. Yeah, and Judy says, thank you for asking your question. I needed to hear this. That's also the beauty of us asking questions. It always serves all of us, right? Thank you, loves. Thank you for your donations. Thank you. That's so kind. And Angela shares, I've been in a dark place. I'm working my way back. Well, you've been right here in my heart, my love, right here. Isn't that amazing how even though we haven't been connecting, that we are connected? That love is always here for you. It's always here for you, darling. I love you. Well, it's just about time for us to finish up. Lisa shows, perhaps that's why I was drawn to it. Excruciatingly, oh, the everything will be okay. Excruciatingly painful is something I can resonate with during this time, and I'm sure others can relate. Yeah, love. And, we talked about this briefly last time. Um, I like to find somewhat of a balance between anchored in this world and total mysticism and esoteric understanding and exploration. I'm going to go that route right now. We are in a time of awakening on this planet, and most of us are getting this shit shaken out of us. Excuse my language. Really though, we are becoming so shaken. And it's not personal. It's happening collectively. It's happening globally. The planet is waking up. We are part of this planet. And what does that mean? It means that the frequency, imagine imagine that you're a fish in the water. If you're a fish in the water, you don't know what water is. It's kind of like if all of this space, you know, is a substance. I don't think about it as a substance. It's just how I live. This is the air. I don't think about it. This is space. If I lived in the water, it would be the same thing, right? I wouldn't even be aware that it was water. Oh my gosh, hold on. I got so deep into that analogy for a second, I forgot where I was going. It's so funny. I'm on a roll today. Is that like the fourth time today? Let me come back to it. Awakening, frequency. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we are all living in frequency. Every cell of our body is vibrating at a frequency. Even things that are inanimate objects, they're particles that are vibrating at different frequencies. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency, and some frequencies are slower and more dense, some are higher and less dense, yes. And so there's not a good or bad when it comes to frequency. It's a quality. It's a quality. High and low is not good and bad. It's a quality. So we're in this time on the planet where the frequency has been pretty low. That's why so much of what we see in this world exists, because of lower frequency, denser frequency. And we're in this period where the frequency is rising. It's rising. It's elevating. And naturally, because we're all in this ocean of frequency, it's happening inside of us, in our bodies, in our subtle bodies, in our emotions, in our minds. And all of the things inside of us that are not catching up to this frequency elevation that's naturally happening, it's like, oh, it makes it even harder to navigate it, because it's almost like we're resisting this natural transformation that's happening. We're trying to hold on to the old paradigm. We're trying to stay in the density. That's one part of it. Another part of it is, as the vibration is rising, all that no longer fits that vibration, all that is too slow and dense, is getting shaken up to be released. So many of us are living in these intense periods within ourselves, let alone the world at large, in ourselves, where things feel like they're crumbling. And if our physical life around us isn't falling apart, we might still feel like we're falling apart inside, because there's this change in frequency, and all that is lower, again, not bad, but lower, part of this old paradigm, it's being shaken up. It's all being brought to the light. It is all right here in our field of awareness, because there's such a contrast with the elevation and what has been. So, this is just a loving invitation for anyone who resonates with this teaching that so many teachers from different traditions are sharing and have been for some time. If you resonate with it, I invite you to consider that maybe part of the unexplainable pain, the intensity, the moments where you feel totally lost, what if it is this transformation and this transition that's happening inside of you? And again, I'm not here to say that you need to believe this. I'm also not saying that you should stop seeing your therapist or stop taking your medication. Continue to do everything you're doing to support your mental, emotional, physical well being. Continue working with your professionals. We still need our doctors and our support systems in this world, in these bodies. So continue to do everything you're doing to care for yourself. And if it serves you, you can consider this other perspective that's more esoteric. Yes. So hopefully that helps in a more compassionate meeting of ourselves, because so many of us are going through these periods where we just feel like we're falling apart, and sometimes it doesn't even make any sense, meaning we don't have all the stories to tell ourselves about why it's happening. It just is. Yeah. Yeah. All right, my loves, it's time for us to come to completion. I'm going to come through a couple more. Hi, Jason. So great to see you. I know. Yes. And you caught one of my tangents. I mean, maybe this whole session today was a tangent, one tangent after another. Mm. Hi, Ginger. Ginger shares, I seem to doubt the waking up piece. I hear it from a lot of teachers, and then the rest of the world seems oblivious. I feel this awakening 100% myself, but my mind says no. This is how it's always been and will be. Okay, love. I see you wrote great explanation. Does that feel supportive in kind of your integration rather than thinking about it as something so woo-woo and esoteric? Can you imagine it as this frequency? Yes, Suleiman. Tangents are us. Maybe that's my one of my new branding logos. What do you think? Um, okay, great, my love. Great, Ginger. I'm so glad. And sometimes there's so many things that we know here, but the intellect can't conceptualize it. It's just too far out there. I mean, I can tell you, studying with an esoteric master for 23 years, there have been so many times where my mind cannot catch it at all, but my being resonates. I know what Saima is talking about on a visceral level, but my mind's like, "Arr." So we don't always need to have an intellectual understanding. Yes. Okay, coming back. Yeah. Yeah, Betty shares, I agree. It seems like everyone I know is going through something. Lindsay shares that resonates deeply and explains so much. Great, loves. Thanks, Suleiman. Great to hear from you. I saw your picture. I was wondering if you were going to say hi. Yeah, exactly. The brain is slower, the mind is slower, and that's okay because that's okay, period. It's just okay, and you know why it's okay? Because it's happening, right? It is what it is. Alright, my beloveds. I guess our meditation today was just the beingness together. Remember, meditation's not always this. Meditation can be this too. Meditation is a state of awareness. I have a one-on-one session coming up, so time for us to complete. I love you. I am so grateful for you, for our time together. If you are not on Insight Timer, I haven't been able to see any of your comments, so I always warmly welcome you to join us on Insight Timer. And yeah, just thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your contributions, your love, your presence. So many of you stayed for the entire hour. Holy moly, that's a lot of tangents. Thank you, friends. I do. I love you so. I'm really grateful. If this is your first time, again, a warm welcome. Come back and be with us. You have such a beautiful family here. Hi, Suzanne. Yeah. Hi, Matt. Great. Yeah, thank you all. And thank you. Ginger says, thank you for your time and energy, Selena. And yeah, it's my honor. I had this a beautiful moment with my papa yesterday. Hi, Yahia. It's great to see your picture. Um, looking for the words. So part of the fullness of this expression of life is to be this loving being that I am. And I also want to experience abundance. Yes, more and more abundance. Abundance financially that I can share with others. So I can buy my parents a house. So I can go study with all the teachers I want to study with and buy myself the things I want to buy. And I can give to charities and just like be in this ocean of abundance and giving in all ways. And I've really been in action. And unfortunately, I have some amazing mentors and teachers that have supported me to be living such a spiritually dedicated life and also to be learning and developing the tools to have success in business because many of us get caught in one realm or the other. We either become so spiritually entrenched in our practices and our beliefs that being spiritual means you can't be financially abundant, that we fall in one field, or we become so disconnected from the true self and attention to that and that presence that we get focused on the material world. And I'm so blessed to have a beloved guru and teachers who have taught me and guided me to find the holistic nature of how there can be abundance in every area of life, and we don't need to cut something off. So I'm sharing all of this because I had a beautiful moment with my papa yesterday because he's been watching me really be dedicated to um, learning and educating myself about business to have greater success so I can support myself and support others. And he was like, he just checked in with me and he just said, as your father, I just want to make sure that you always stay true to your original desire, your original purpose, which is to serve. And one, like, how blessed am I to have a dad, one, and to have a dad two, who wants to make sure that I'm staying aligned with my true purpose, which is to serve. So first of all, just the acknowledgement of that. Just how beautiful is that? And I'm so grateful because I know that I'm only built for that. I'm not built to be able to forget. So I'm saying all of this from Ginger's comment, thanking me for my time and energy because my path is a path of service. And there, are countless hours where I do things that I don't receive any financial support, but I do receive your love and our connection and your presence and our growing together. And that's so beautiful. And that's invaluable. Of course, money's important because it allows me to pay my bills and eat, right? Um, and the other contributions are also invaluable. So thank you, Ginger, and thank you all. Thank you for giving me a space to live my Dharma, my life purpose. My life purpose is to serve and to love. And your choice to be here together gives me an opportunity to love. Doesn't it give you an opportunity to love too? Drop an emoji in the chat if you find that when we come together here, it gives you an opportunity to love in ways that you might not always do. Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this. Look at all these emojis dropping in. How beautiful this. Hi Viviana. Hi Lindsay. Hi Maria. So what a gift. We can thank each other for being in a space and creating a space for love. Thanks so much, Melissa. And Melissa says, sorry you went through so much these last few months. And the truth is, as much as it was excruciating, I know it grew me. It cracked me open. It's helping me become more of the person I want to be. All the pain I went through helped me become more attuned to holding boundaries for myself, honoring myself, loving parts of me that felt so crushed and thought they wanted someone else's love, but it was all about my love. And I'm still in a process with some of it, but it's like every turmoil brings me home to myself if I let it. Eventually it will one way or the other. Thank you for your compassion. Okay, beloveds, it's time for us to complete. I love you. Thank you. Come find me on Instagram. Come find Insight Timer on Instagram. Come play. I look forward to being together again soon. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I love you so.